Minnesota's best deals, worst deals of Marketplace. 1980s edition, part 2. 1982 GMC 3500, so there's the full ton, crew cab and chassis, 29,000 for an 82 full ton crew cab and chassis. So what does that mean? Oh, it's a flatbed. So looking at these relatively zoomed out pictures, is it a rollback more than just a flatbed maybe? Hard to tell. Looks okay. I mean, you can hide a lot from being 20 feet away, but looks okay. Interior on the front. Those rockers, bottom of the doors, looks pretty decent. Looks like fresh paint almost, but looks decent. Interior looks pretty solid. It's got the buckets and a console in the middle. There's your back seat. There's something hanging in the corner or some kind of a cover just on the top half maybe. Not super sure. Seats look nice. Nobody sits in the back seat anyway, so they should be nice. It is a 59,000 original barn truck find. I don't know if this was sitting in somebody's barn for the last decades, but probably just low miles stored inside. I'd agree with that. So it's 59,000 original, so if that's possible, that's a pretty decent truck there. Okay, it is some kind of a rollback thing. But is it worth the money they are asking? I would have to say no. It is not worth the money they're asking. You can find lots of rollbacks, and for that money, you can find lots of nice ones too. Citation, Chevy Citation. If you look at that little emblem up on the front, I see it says Citation 2. So this is a later 80s, 1980 was the first one. So this has got to be, closer to, I think 86 was the last. Let's pull that up. Looks like it is a 1984 Chevy Citation, $700. Why Chevy named a car after the ticket that you get for speeding, I'm not sure, but it sounded good at the time because they had Corvettes and Citations and Celebrities. They liked that letter of the alphabet. Looking at the gauge cluster, I see 70,000. It's only a 5-digit, was the 10th, so hard to tell if it's more than that. These were just a non-overdrive here. So it says 70,000 miles for sale, needs carburetor work. Hard to spell, that word's tricky to spell. Needs a battery, body in good shape, good wheels, good motor, good transmission. These are, if it's a 4-cylinder, it would be the Iron Duke. If it's a V6, they're like a 2.8, which I don't know anything about. Maybe they're good. Maybe they're not. There you go. So 2.8 FI I see in the back corner. I don't know what year they went to fuel injection. So 84, probably. Maybe a little before that. These are a hatchback. So every model, it's a 2-door or a 4-door. They were a hatch. You saw some sedans, but hardly ever. They're almost always hatchbacks. There's your dash. That's what your dash looks like after sitting outside for a long time. You can see on the right side of the gauge cluster, you see their controls are vertical. The radio below that too is vertical. It's kind of weird. Looking at your interior a little bit, so there's your front seats. Don't look too wore out or shot. I wonder if there was a console in the middle, but I'm not seeing like a hole for one maybe would go. Not super sure with that. Looking at the back seat, let's flip over to that. I assume it'd be about the same. Yep. The floor looks a little scuzzy, so maybe water got in there. I don't know. The seats definitely look kind of faded, though. They got that look. So it's probably sat outside for a really long time, but it doesn't look too shredded or wore. Maybe a little threadbare, but like I said, back seat, meh. So would you pay what they're asking for this 84 Citation, this piece of Americana history? I would say, why not? This might be a fun little commuter car that you never know that you can't live without. So go Chevy Citation. 1980 Datsun pickup for 10 grand. In Minnesota, there aren't many of these left because they all rusted in half. The boxes rusted along the side and just folded in on themselves. That was awesome. Looking at this one. Ooh. What kind of a magazine or book was that in? Some kind of a show truck. I see a blower sticking out of the top. So what engine can you put in a Datsun? I doubt they put a blower on a 4-cylinder, but let's dig in there a little bit at the description. Buick Grand National engine, 471 blower, includes a complete running Grand National engine, a buyer's option to install with the included turbo or the blower, 12-volt rear end, turbo 350, all the good stuff, zero rust, few small dents. So you're getting 2 Buick Grand National motors, and who knows if that's really what it is. Hopefully, if you know what you know, you got those. Looking at the rear end, really narrowed Chevy 12-bolt to fit slicks of that size for sure. Boy, that'd be tricky making corners. Oh, there's your blower. You can clearly see for a V6. You can see the 3 ports on this side. So it said 471. So pretty good size blower. And then looking at the next picture here, just to show you the chassis that was the rear end is taken out. Looks to be pretty solid, not rusty, not falling apart. It must not have been driven much here in Minnesota Salt before it was converted into a show car, drag car, and whatnot. See, it's a Lincoln in the background there, it looks like. And a boat there, too. So there, somebody's got it kind of taken apart, being worked on, your Datsun. So is that worth it? To me, no. But if you're a Grand National person, you're looking for turbo V6s, and they're decent, I bet the price of that worth in motors is pretty good. FOXBODY. So here is a 87 to 93 Mustang. I see we've got some different wheels going on. We got a cowl hood. So what does this have hiding here for us? So the ad says it's a GT. 8,000. Is that a good price? $8,000 for an 88 GT. Today, Fox bodies are, they're just going up in value around where I live. So let's dig a little bit and kind of see what we see going on here. There is not a Ford, that appears to be a big block Chevy motor there with a big Holly Dominator or some kind of carb like that. I can see it's got an electric water pump put on there. I see is that a fuel cell in the far left corner, really tiny fuel cell or something. So somebody's friend passed away and they're trying to sell it. It's a red 88, don't know much about it, but they can describe things. So this could be an opportunity, or it could be, of course, a big scam, or it could be somebody trying to help somebody out. So let's see what we can see now. We got some nitrous action in the back. You can see the spring on the right would be for the parachute, and I see the CERT sticker on the cage. So I would say somebody going through these kind of expenses here, it would boogie pretty good down a drag strip there. So what do we got hiding in this guy here? Roll cage, nitrous, race seats, power switch located all for that. So it's got a built diff, skinnies, slicks and skinnies, headers, gauges, switch panel overhead, big block Chevy and motor. All the fluids are clean, so you can at least check that. I'm curious to see if it's running or driving. So there is your interior there. You can see the automatic shifter there. So that steering wheel is off an 89 or newer, if I remember, because that's 80, maybe it's 90 had airbags. So that's an airbag steering wheel there. Here is your center console. That was kind of hacked up a little bit to do what it needs to do. I can see the handle just to the right of the shifter, probably was for the chute. So that was nice to have that right there. The gauges where the HVAC stuff was, just your gauges that you need. Looking further, we've got one of those strange axles in the middle. So you know you've got some kind of high spline, beefy rear end there to take care of what you need to take care of. You see the slicks are also screwed in place. So this thing probably did have as much go as you wanted to out of a big black Chev. There's a kind of a girdle on the bottom of that 8.8 rear end. I see big dual exhaust, big pipes hanging up there. I assume headers in the front too. But the looks like you got some limiters on the top there on either side for your roll bar. They kind of limit the rear end. There is your big headers all the way down, long tube. Big oil pan, big transmission pan behind that, making everything fit. It's funny seeing more of these big block Chevys in Fox bodies. You're seeing more of these. This one was built a long time ago, though. Here is a vintage picture from back in the day, lifting the front wheel right there. So apparently this was this car, X number of years ago. So it's been a couple iterations there. This one, it's red now. Right there is a darker color to gray or black. And that is what the engine used to look like back in the day. You see the nitrous solenoids there. See the big carb. Still has kind of that red flexi hose covering the radiator on the top. Never liked those, that anodized aluminum looking. But some people thought they were cool, so maybe it was cool. Looking under the hood currently today. So it looks about the same, just a little bit different here and there. Some things tweaked with that. So we looked at the good on this thing, and it sure looks like a sweet machine for the price they're asking for it. But there's got to be some kind of drawbacks for it too. So let's take a look at those. So looking at the bad, need a new key, no big deal. Roof has been repaired with Bondo and is cracking off. Okay, so if you need to do some roof repair on the top, but why would there be Bondo? Shock towers are okay. I guess that would be good because some of these, they rust along the bottom where the key members kind of connect with those. I want to look at that roof a little bit closer. So let's try to find a picture of that. And if you look at the back of the roof, you can see it is rusted through. So do I want to spend $8,000 for a drag race Mustang with a rusty roof? There's my answer. Not much would I pay for this guy, knowing that you can find other ones that are not hacked to pieces like that, and rusted pieces, I should say. Thank you much. Minnesota's Rust, best and worst of market.